Okay, here is the deal. How you thrust has a massive impact on how good the sex is for you and for your partner. Get it wrong, and you will disappoint or even hurt her. Get it right, and she will be begging for more. And the latter is what I want to help you with today. I'm going to give you my 5 best tips on how to thrust during sex to give her intense pleasure and avoid finishing too quickly. Follow these 5 tips and I guarantee that you will blow a woman's mind every single time and make her desperate for more. With that said, let's get into it. I'm Marni, and from here on out, I am going to be your very own personal wing girl, and every week I'll give you the no BS insider info about what women really want, plus the most effective methods to win over any girl you like. So just hit that subscribe button now so that you never miss a video. And since we're on the topic of intense pleasure, I think I should let you in on a little secret. Actually, this secret is for your penis. So I'm gonna talk to your penis. Penis, do you want to enhance your performance in the bedroom and give women intense pleasure so they come back for more? Then I want to introduce you to an amazing product called Joy Mode. Joy Mode makes natural and science-backed sexual wellness products for men. And Joy Mode was created because the products on the market, like prescriptions and over-the-counter gas station pills, are horrible for you and can hurt you in the long run. I would much rather that you take a supplement designed to spice things up naturally rather than a prescription drug that can have harmful effects on you down the road. Whether you're unhappy or happy with your performance in the bedroom, why not perform even better? Joy Mode's sexual performance booster is like a pre-workout, but for sex. You take it anywhere from 45 minutes to 5 hours before you have sex, and you can expect to get one of your best erections. So penis, if you want to spice things up in the bedroom and boost your sexual performance, do it naturally without nasty prescription drugs and give Joy Mode a try. So go to usejoymode.com/Marni or enter Marni at checkout for 20% off your first order. That is usejoymode.com/Marni for 20% off your first order. And thank you, Joy Mode, for sponsoring today's video. But penis, keep listening because this whole video is for you. All right, here are the 5 thrusting tips that you should follow during sex. Tip number 1. That's kind of funny. Start slow. When it comes to thrusting, it's always best to start slow and build up from there. So here's why. Women's bodies take a lot more time to warm up than a man's. So our vaginal opening actually expands during sex to enable deep penetration, but it doesn't happen instantly. It takes time. This means that if you, like most men, start thrusting hard and deep from the get-go, like you see in porn movies or actually every other freaking TV show out lately. Side note, have you noticed there are a lot more penises on TV lately? There's so many. Anyway, back to what I was saying. If you thrust too hard and too deep from the get-go, it's guaranteed to be an unpleasant experience for the woman that you're sleeping with. Now, she might not tell you this to avoid hurting your feelings, or she's uncomfortable, or because she thinks this is how sex is supposed to feel because other guys have done it like this. But regardless, you should understand that it's not pleasurable for her due to biology. It takes time for her body to warm up. Again, much longer than it does for you, and you shouldn't jump the gun. Start slow, give her body time to relax and open up, and trust me, she will appreciate it, okay? Tip number 2, tease her. Teasing is a game-changing tactic to use in the bedroom, really everywhere with a woman, and it can amplify her pleasure like nothing else. So here's how. When a woman is having sex, her body is feeling a lot of pleasure, and those feelings of pleasure often get more and more intense, and she goes deeper into the experience. Now, teasing involves taking away that extreme pleasure momentarily, pressing the pause button to pleasure, if you will. So this actually intensifies the sexual experience because by denying her extreme pleasure, you're making her want it more. You're making her crave it. This sense of craving will double or triple the level of intensity of her pleasure when you finally give her what she wants. So here's how it all works in practice. Pick an unexpected moment to slow your thrusting down. When you find yourself getting into a harder and faster rhythm that she seems to be enjoying, let her relish in it for a few moments, okay? Then pull back. Put your foot on the gas and slow it down. Take down the speed and the intensity of your thrusting. Enter her slowly and shallowly and watch her squirm. She is going to be losing her mind and begging you to give it back to her. And that's when you know you have her exactly where you want her to be. Once you decide to build up your speed and intensity again, you will see what a powerful effect it has on her body. So one warning though, just make sure you don't try this teasing technique right before she's about to reach climax. As a woman, I would slap you if you did it during that time. She's gonna absolutely hate you for it. The teasing technique works best in the early stages of sex. So just remember that and don't try doing it later on. All right, moving on. Tip number 3, vary the tempo. So if you thrust at the same tempo for a long period of time, it gets boring. And it doesn't really feel well. That's because our nerve endings, they get used to the tempo and we become less sensitive to it. That's why it's crucial to mix up your tempo during sex, depending on factors like what position you're in, how close you or your partner is to orgasm, and how early it is in the sexual experience, meaning whether you just started or you've been going for a while. You should adjust and vary your thrusting tempo. So if you're in the early stages, facing each other and you're kissing passionately, you can go slower and savor the moment. If you're towards the end, you have her bent over in doggy style, you can go harder and faster. Basically, try whatever tempo you believe is best suited for that moment. Don't overthink it. As long as you create some variations over time, you will have her and yourself enjoying the experience. Next, tip number 4, grinding. This is a tool that 99% of men ignore, and trust me, you shouldn't. Most men focus on the normal in and out motion when penetrating a woman, and that will stimulate her G-spot and other internal nerve endings. But it misses out the most pleasurable part of the female body, the clitoris. When you grind into a woman, holding her body against yours or pressing your body against hers and keeping her close, you have the ability to apply pressure to her labia and her clitoris, which is magical. So here's the thing. The clitoris isn't just that little button thing hidden under the hood down there. It actually has 2 legs extending under the surface and responds really well to pressure against the vaginal opening and the lips. So in simple words, if you grind against her instead of just going in and out, you get to stimulate her clitoris, which is the biggest source of pleasure for a woman in her entire female body. Now, how exactly do you grind? Well, it's simple. You grind by staying deep in her body and moving firmly against her body, okay? Not really aggressive, but coming into contact with her vaginal opening and her clitoris. So some positions like missionary and cowgirl make this so much easier, while other positions can make it harder to do. You have to experiment and adjust accordingly, but either way, I urge you to use this technique in the bedroom. Not only is it a great tool, I guess, to increase pleasure for the woman that you're sleeping with, but it's also a great way to take a breather, slow down, and recharge. So grinding might be very stimulating for a woman, but it's not as much for a man. So if you find yourself getting close to climax too early, you might try grinding to slow things down in a way that is fun for the lady. So moving on to the final tip. Tip number 5, pay attention. Whether you're thrusting, grinding, or doing something else in the bedroom, you need to pay attention to how that woman responds to it, how her body reacts and responds. And this is crucial because this knowledge will help you create the best possible experience for the both of you over and over and over and over again. You don't want to be caught up in any thoughts of any kind. You want to be present and in the moment. So pay attention to what's happening right now. What's happening right now at that moment is pretty good. This alone will make you a better lover than most men out there who unfortunately get trapped in their heads thinking, worrying, and second guessing themselves and never really figure out what works best for them and for a woman. That said, we've come to the end of our list of tips today. However, there's one more thing you should know about pleasing a woman in bed that most men do not know. So women are much more likely to enjoy having sex with a man and reach orgasm if she feels emotionally connected to him, because sex for women isn't just a physical experience, it's an emotional one. Even if, you just started dating or you're having a one-night stand, the better and bigger emotional bond, the better the sex is with her and the more sex you'll have with her because she's going to keep coming back for it. So I have an amazing program called Beyond Attraction, which can show you how to build a strong emotional connection with any woman. If you're interested, click the link in the description below to check it out. It gives you easy ways to communicate with women in a way that naturally builds trust, intimacy, and a deep level of connection. A connection which is much stronger than attraction. You have to have both, but it's still stronger. A connection that gets her obsessed with you physically and emotionally. So once you know these little known communication tactics, you'll never miss out on second dates, having sex, or lose a woman's interest. These communication secrets are the only tools that I know of that makes a woman devote herself entirely to you. So if that's something you want, click the link in the description below and check out Beyond Attraction. But anyways, thank you so much for watching this video today. I hope you found it useful. I found it enjoyable. And as always, I'll see you again next week.